This hour again, court restrains the People's Democratic Party from holding its national convention. Plus, on the program, the Nigerian Air Force eliminates cause of Islamic State of West Africa province ISWAP terrorists in Borno and other northern states. Lunchtime politics starts right now. Well, many thanks indeed for joining us on the program. Wherever you're watching from around the world, we are live from our global headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. It appears like more trouble for the People's Democratic Party, and that's because a federal high court in Abuja has for the second time restrained the PDP from holding its national convention, which was scheduled to hold in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, between November 15 and 16. The court also barred the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from supervising, or monitoring, or recognizing the outcome of the national convention where national officers were expected to be elected. Justice Peter Lifu earlier today issued the fresh order while delivering a ruling in an application brought by a former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido. Well, Mr. Lamido had taken the party before the court, complaining that he was denied the opportunity to buy the chairmanship nomination form to enable him participate in the national convention. And the judge predicated the restriction order against the PDP on the grounds that the party refused, neglected, and failed to comply with relevant conditions and laws for the conduct of such conventions. And the judge also held that evidence from Lamido showed that the timetable for the convention was not published for the attention of its members as required by law. Justice Lifu also held that the balance of convenience tilted towards Lamido because he would suffer more if allowed to be unlawfully excluded from the planned convention. Justice Lifu also held that anarchy would be the order of the day any day and anywhere the court record abdicates its constitution assigned functions. All right, let's quickly tell you, our viewers, that this hour we are going to cross over live and have a live broadcast from the Arewa House in Kaduna State, where they are set to put together a one-day lecture to commemorate Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary, a program put together by the Arewa think tank. That's for our viewers on DSTV, a one-day lecture to commemorate the 65th independence anniversary of Nigeria, an event put together by the Arewa think tank, live broadcast there from Kaduna State. But for our viewers on other platforms, we can move on now with other stories this hour. The Nigerian Air Force has announced the elimination of scores of Islamic State of West Africa province ISWAP terrorists in Malam Fatori and Shuwaram areas of Borno State. According to NAV, the bandits' enclaves in Garindadi and Shigogo in Kwara State, as well as Zango Hill in Kankara local government area of Katsina State, have all been destroyed. According to statements by the spokesman of the force, Air Commodore Ehime Ejodame, the coordinated missions were carried out on November 9th, 2025, following credible intelligence. Commodore Ejodame explains that the missions represent a decisive phase in the ongoing joint operations under Operation Hadinkai and Operation Fasan Yama, aimed at degrading terrorists and criminal networks across Nigeria's northern region. In the meantime, violent confrontations between Boko Haram and the Islamic West Africa province ISWAP in northern Nigeria's Lake Chad region have left dozens of fighters dead. According to reports, over 200 ISWAP fighters were killed in the latest clash in Dogan-Chiku, according to a former Boko Haram member who continues to monitor local insurgent activities. The insurgents group lost the 4 fighters in the incident with several weapons. Now, other sources we hear, however, put the death toll at closer to 50. Speaking on conditions of anonymity, a security source confirmed that at least 50 ISWAP fighters were also killed. All right, so let's get to unpack and dissect all of this as we get some perspectives this hour, because that story has dominated all of the headlines, or most of the headlines of the national dailies today. The fact that the Nigerian Air Force escalating the fact that they have neutralized and eliminated scores of terrorist Islamic groups right there in Kwara, Borno, Katsina, and a list of other states in the northern region. So that's our focus this hour, as we get to dissect all of this, because there's also the fact that there's that undertone as to perhaps is this also connected with the threat from U.S. President Donald Trump to escalate the issues, to invade the country and target these insurgents if the government of the day perhaps does not do anything about it. Let's dissect all of these issues this hour. We're joined by 2 gentlemen who are security experts. Bishop Johnson is a retired U.S. Army captain. He joins us live now from the nation's capital, Abuja. And Mr. Dennis Amachree is a former DSS director as well, who also joins us live on the program. Gentlemen, thank you indeed for agreeing to talk to us on the program. Mr. Amachree, you are in the U.S., so it's early hours of the day there. We must thank you especially as well for agreeing to talk to us here on the program. It's good to see you. But perhaps let's begin the conversation with you, because the Nigerian military has had to escalate the fact that these targets were made, coordinated land and aerial counter operations across several northern states in the northern region. That has, in fact, we hear, dominated most of the headlines. But I'm just wondering, these actions by the military as we speak, this neutralizing the bandits, neutralizing the insurgents and all of that, is there perhaps a Trump effect in all of this, Mr. Amachree? Or do you indeed believe this data?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this. And say hello to Bishop, my friend. You know, this particular situation is what we have expected a long time ago. You know, security professionals have been coming and saying that, look, we have to deal with these terrorists. You know, we have to deal with the terrorists. And we've allowed them. We are de-radicalizing them. We are infusing them back into the military and stuff like that, and that is not done. You know, it looks like we're just playing around. We see terrorists having meetings, holding press conference in Nigeria within our borders, and we're not doing anything until we have that push from the Americans that, you know, they want to come down here if we are not doing anything about it. And I'm happy that at least the new service chiefs are keeping to the direction by the commander-in-chief and doing what they have to do. I hope that he has given them some key performance indicators that they have to meet. You know, because let them go out and deal with these people. Because, see, the presence of these people is causing an existential threat to the country. So I think, yeah, you might call it a Trump effect. Yes, that's good. But we need to get these people out of our country.
Maybe in 60 seconds or less, Mr. Amachree, for the Nigerians who are residents in the U.S., where you are, the community of Nigerians there, how have they received this news of the threat by Trump to invade the country? What are they saying to you?
Well, there are mixed feelings. there are mixed feelings here in the United States. Some people believe that, yes, it's high time that there must be an intervention to stop this bloodletting. And some people feel that, yeah, well, considering other things that have happened in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Syria, in Libya, where the American intervention has caused problem, we should not. But I think generally, the major opinion here is that, yes, if the Americans really want to help Nigeria, then they have to collaborate with our military and security forces, and do it. That shows that they are concerned. They cannot just come in there and start blazing guns, because how do you recognize? Remember, this is an asymmetric warfare. And how do you recognize the enemy? Some of the enemies are within communities, and you cannot get them out without, the Nigerian security forces. So I think, first of all, we keep our house in order, and then if the Americans are coming to help, yeah, there are other areas they could actually assist.
Let's bring in Bishop Johnson into the conversation, retired U.S. Army captain. Captain, are you open to Nigeria receiving help from the U.S.? Pay close attention to the fact that on X, on socials, it's been trending. Pastor Femi Lazarus, for instance, has been trending because he has warned that for every country the U.S. visits, Libya, Afghanistan, Venezuela, there is always a question mark somewhere. So are you open to that help from the U.S. and President Donald Trump?
Okay, yeah. Let me first and foremost salute my elder brother there who is in the U.S., Dr. Amachree. Good morning. Look, here are the facts. The U.S. and Nigeria has been collaborating for a very long period of time. This new indication from the U.S. president is not something that is new. There has been bilateral cooperation and collaboration between Nigeria as a government and our armed forces and the armed forces of the United States in inter-military and interagency cooperation. That has been going on. The U.S. has been funding a whole bunch of our programs, whether it's health or military. They've been training our security agents, their personnel. They have also been selling hardware to us. Now, the issue is not about cooperation. They will cooperate. The thing is that the approach that had been used in the past, if we assess it, had it been able to give us the desired outcome? And of course, every person who will be sincere and honest to himself or herself will say that, look, we haven't achieved the desired outcome through the approach that is being utilized, right? Instead, this insecurity in Nigeria seems more like it has become a cash cow where people are enriching themselves. And so for that reason, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Bishop Johnson. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
So for that reason, there seems to be a desire from the American perspective and the American side that there is a need for them to change approach, right? Maybe instead of channeling money in all those areas that they have been channeling and they've not been getting the outcome, there's a need for them to intervene so that there can be desired outcome. I've heard you mention about Iraq, Afghanistan. You have to take this into perspective, right? There's also Korea. America has intervened in Korea. Today, South Korea is a very prosperous democracy. America helped them to achieve that stand. If you look at Japan, Japan has enjoyed cooperation from the U.S. U.S. is in Japan. U.S. is in Korea.
Captain.
U.S. is in Europe.
Captain.
Listen, let me. Yeah.
So you do not think that the U.S. President, Mr. Donald Trump, who some say that He's a businessman, and one of the hashtags on X that has been trending is the hashtag natural resources. And let's say perhaps he has interest in our resources. So you do not think that President Donald Trump is interested in that? Because the question as well that Pastor Femi Lazarus has asked is, why did the U.S. put a hold to Nigeria purchasing equipment in 2014 under President Goodluck Jonathan?
Right. Let me take this last part first, right? That was under President Barack Obama. And every president in America has their own policies, right? The Obama administration determined that the equipment that they were sending to Nigerian armed forces, they were misusing them, and in some cases, killing innocent citizens. And they didn't want American weapons to be used in the murder, whether it's accidental or deliberate, of murder of innocent citizens. That was why, and there's a law. There's a law in America that actually forbids the United States government from selling weapons to countries that have what they consider terrible human records or human rights. But this Donald Trump, the man in question now. Let me finish.
Okay, just land on your point, because some will disagree. Yes, but land on that point, but some will disagree. Go ahead, sir.
Let me finish. The same man, Donald Trump, who you just referenced right now, was the same man who overturned that Obama's decision and was able to sell 12 Techno fighter jets to Nigeria. It is the same Trump that we're talking about here now. Now, let's come back to the issue of the mining of minerals. Let me tell you, foreign powers are already mining Nigerian minerals. The Chinese are there stealing our minerals. The Chinese are a part of the equation where you have this insecurity that is going on in Nigeria today. If you go to all of those areas where you have these illicit mining activities, the Chinese will be found there, right? So there is this connivance between some foreign powers and the indigenous people in those areas and the bandits to illegally mine our mineral resources, and the funding does not go into the pockets of the federal government of Nigeria. There are also top security retired military officers and those probably who are still serving who are also benefiting from this at the detriment of the general public of Nigeria. So if Donald Trump is going to come in, and as part of the equation or the agreement, is for them to help us and solve our insecurity problem, because it's completely unacceptable that we will normalize insecurity in Nigeria. Such a situation is not sustainable. It's already affecting our economy, because no sane investor will come into a Nigeria when it is in chaos as it is right now. So if Donald Trump can reach an agreement with Nigerian government, and there is a sort of order in that mining sector in where America helps us to deal with our insecurity problem, and on the other hand, they benefit from those minerals, as against what is obtainable today, where other foreign powers are illegally conniving with our citizens to mine these minerals at the detriment of the generality of all of us. So I think I would prefer the latter one, where Donald Trump and the Nigerian government reaches an agreement.
Yeah, so I have to squeeze in as many questions as I can. There's a report as well that the FCT Police Anti-Kidnapping Unit and the DSS have had to embark on a special church patrol within forest and border communities, somewhere in Niger State, in Kaduna State, and even in the FCT, Gwagwalada area as well. Perhaps we should begin with the former DSS director, Mr. Amachree. Do you think that this has opened up churches to more attacks?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, but it is very, very regular and necessary for regular patrols. In fact, I have not been in Abuja for a very long time. Otherwise, I'll tell you, before, even starting from the days of Abacha, you know, there are regular patrols in the Federal Capital Territory, because that's a very sensitive area. You know, we cannot afford to have bandits or terrorists even coming in. Remember the bombing of the United Nations office in Abuja? You know, that was a real slap on our face. And I hope that it does not repeat itself again. So it's very, very necessary that they go ahead and see, let me put it this way. we have to take security more seriously. You know, we have been dealing with it, haphazardly. And, a complete integrated security system is what we need at this time. And I hope that, or I'm happy in a way that people are waking up to it now. But I think one step that I would really want the military to take, or the political leadership to take, is to have the political will and get the financiers and supporters of this particular case.
All right. Mr. Amachree and Captain Johnson, I'm just looking at a report here from the cable. I have to repost it. It says that Nigeria ranked 6th out of 163 countries in the Global Terrorism Index 2025. Nigeria is number 6 on that list. Captain, when you look at this particular report from the cable and you juxtapose that with the reports from the presidency, which debunked claims from the CPC asserting that terrorist and criminal activities has reduced in this country by over 80% since 2015. Walk us through that contrast, Bishop.
Well, you don't have to look any further than look at what is on the ground. We live here in Nigeria. We are the ones who are dealing with the situation. I don't think there's any Nigerian who, in their right senses, will be asked this question and they will tell you that insecurity in Nigeria has decreased by 80%. I think that claim is bogus and baloney. You know, there's a lot of insecurity in this country. Of course. The report from our government that insecurity, terrorism, and all that had decreased in this country by 80%. If that is the case, why was the Nigerian Air Force...
81.1%,
how many percent?
I think 81.1%, so it's over 80.
8180 is a bogus claim. That is not the reality that we're living through in this country. You just mentioned that the police, is doing routine patrol in the FCT. And why are they doing that? It's a new strategy because insecurity is on the rise. Insecurity is on the rise, not just only in the north. In almost every part of this country, people are not safe. People can't go out and live their normal life in this country. And we'll be doing ourselves this service if we are coming up with this kind of bogus claims that insecurity has been decreased by 80%, because then we won't be able to get the necessary solutions and assistance that is required to help us to deal with this internal problem that we are living through every day. Maybe those in the presidency are not feeling what ordinary people are feeling because they surround themselves with security agents that are protecting them. But I can tell you that presidency report is quite divergent to the reality that ordinary Nigerians are facing. There's a lot of insecurity in the land, and we should not be dishing out those kind of claims.
Quickly respond to the fact that we've ranked six.
There's something that my brother Amachree alluded to. You see, policing is all about patrol. It's supposed to be a routine thing. It's not something that you do off and on. It's something that is supposed to be regular. Where he is right now, if he goes to a police station, he will not see any policeman that is sitting around at the police station. They are all in the streets, patrolling every nook and cranny. That's how you police a place. You don't police a place by everybody sitting around in their offices, at the police stations, at the command headquarters and the headquarters. No, you police by being out there in the street and patrolling every nook and cranny, and that's how you deter crimes from taking place. So Captain, I hope that patrol...
We have to go now. I'm told that we are absolutely pressed for time, but I'll need former director, DSS director, to just in 20 seconds respond to the fact that the Global Terrorism Index 2025 has ranked us number 6th in the world. Countries of 163, we are number 6. Mr. Amachree.
Yeah, thank you very much. We've even been higher. We have been higher. When you look at the kidnapping index, we were number 1 at the time, and then we graded down. But you see, forget about all the statistics. Forget the statistics. What we want is a feeling by the ordinary man that is secure. If I can wake up in the morning in Port Harcourt, or I wake up at 2 a.m. and I said I'm going to Abuja, I'm driving down there, and the ability to drive down confidently without feeling any fear, that's security for you. So I think they are doing a very good job. And they should keep up the tempo. And then please, like I said earlier, we cannot completely eradicate terrorism in Nigeria if we allow those supporters and financiers, especially those in government and those who are known already in society. There should be no sacred cow there.
We have to leave it here, and thank you indeed for your time, insights, perspectives on the program. Mr. Dennis Amachree is the former DSS director, and then of course we also have Captain Bishop Johnson, retired U.S. Army captain. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the program as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Well, just before we go, let's quickly tell you that a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and lead visionary of the Lagos movement, Abdulaziz Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, has inaugurated a network of grassroots coordinators to rally support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid in 2027. At an event in Ikeja, the former governorship candidates of the PDP unveiled more than 900 coordinators drawn from all 376 wards across the state. He says the self-funded movement is being repositioned to strengthen the APC's base here in Lagos. Well, that's reports there from the APC. Does it for us here on the program, everyone. Thank you indeed for watching. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, I am Kelly Egiga, and you have just been served on Lunchtime Politics. Good afternoon.